At the family reunion, my sister mocked me as her unemployed twin, then her boss called me. The sun was setting over the sprawling backyard of my aunt's countryside home, casting a golden hue across tables laden with food and laughter. The air buzzed with chatter, children chasing each other in circles while adults exchanged stories they hadn't told in years. It should have been perfect, a family reunion after too long apart, but for me, it felt suffocating. I stood near the edge of the gathering, clutching a plastic cup filled with lemonade that had already gone warm. My hands were clammy, my stomach tight with unease. And then there she was, my sister Clara. She glided through the crowd like royalty, her designer dress hugging every curve, her heels clicking against the wooden deck. Clara always knew how to make an entrance, even at something as simple as this. She stopped beside me, her lips curling into a smirk that made my chest tighten further. "Hey sis," she said, her voice dripping with mockery. "How's unemployment treating you? Still struggling to find your passion?" Her words landed like daggers, sharp and deliberate. Around us, a few cousins turned their heads, pretending not to eavesdrop but clearly listening intently. I forced a smile, trying to mask the sting. "It's fine, Clara. Not everyone needs to climb the corporate ladder to feel fulfilled." She let out a laugh, high-pitched and grating. "Oh please. You've been saying that for years now. Meanwhile, look at me, I'm killing it." She gestured dramatically toward herself, as if her success needed any more emphasis. "Corporate ladder? Honey, I built my own damn staircase." Her confidence was intoxicating and infuriating. Clara had always been the golden child, the one who excelled effortlessly in everything she touched. School, sports, relationships, it all came so naturally to her. And now, here she was, thriving in her career, earning accolades from everyone around her. While I wasn't sure what I was doing anymore. Before I could respond, or retreat quietly, Clara leaned closer, her tone dropping conspiratorially. "You know, people are starting to talk about you. They call you my unemployed twin. Can you believe that? Like we're some kind of tragic comedy duo." My cheeks burned. The nickname wasn't new. I'd heard whispers of it before, muttered behind closed doors or shared in hushed tones during holiday gatherings. But hearing it straight from Clara's mouth somehow made it worse. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was personal. A label she'd gleefully stamped on me for everyone else to see. "Clara," I started, my voice trembling slightly. "Do you ever think maybe you could be a little less cruel?" Her eyes widened in mock surprise. "Cruel? Oh no, sweetie, this isn't cruelty. This is tough love. Someone has to tell you these things. Otherwise, you'll just keep floating through life without purpose." Her words hit me harder than I cared to admit. Maybe because deep down, I feared they were true. For months, or was it years? I'd been stuck in limbo, unsure of where I belonged or what I wanted. Writing had once been my dream, but rejection letter after rejection letter had worn me down. Freelancing gigs barely paid enough to cover rent, let alone convince anyone, including myself, that I was on the right path. As Clara sauntered off, leaving me standing awkwardly by the drink table, I felt the weight of her judgment settle heavily on my shoulders. The noise around me faded into a dull hum, the faces blurring together until I couldn't distinguish friend from stranger. All I could focus on was the ache in my chest, the gnawing sense of failure that refused to leave me alone. I retreated to the far corner of the yard, seeking solace beneath the shade of a massive oak tree. Its branches stretched wide, offering a quiet sanctuary away from prying eyes. I sank onto the grass, pulling my knees to my chest and staring blankly at the horizon. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink now, beautiful yet distant, much like the dreams I'd tucked away. Just as I began to lose myself in thought, my phone buzzed loudly in my pocket, startling me back to reality. I fished it out hesitantly, half expecting another automated email reminding me of unpaid bills or overdue deadlines. Instead, the screen lit up with an unfamiliar number flashing across it. Curiosity outweighed caution, and I answered cautiously. "Hello?" There was a brief pause before a man's voice came through, steady and professional. "Is this Emily Carter?" "Yes, this is she," I replied, confusion coloring my tone. "This is Daniel Harper. I'm calling from Harper Publishing." My breath caught in my throat. Harper Publishing, one of the most prestigious names in the industry. My heart raced as I struggled to process why they would be reaching out to someone like me. I came across your manuscript submission earlier today, he continued, oblivious to my inner turmoil. We don't typically review unsolicited work, but something about your writing caught my attention. We'd like to discuss it further. For a moment, I forgot how to speak. The world seemed to tilt on its axis, spinning wildly out of control. Could this really be happening? After all the rejections, all the doubts, could someone finally see value in my words? I stammered, gripping the phone tighter. That's incredible. Thank you so much. Daniel chuckled softly, his voice warm and encouraging. Don't thank me yet. Let's schedule a meeting to go over details. How does Thursday afternoon sound? I scrambled to pull myself together, nodding even though he couldn't see me. Thursday works perfectly. Thank you again, Mr. Harper. As the call ended, I sat frozen, staring at the phone in disbelief. A wave of emotions crashed over me, relief, excitement, fear, all swirling together in an overwhelming tide. For the first time in what felt like forever, I allowed myself to hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't destined to remain the unemployed twin forever. But as quickly as the euphoria set in, doubt crept back in. What if this was too good to be true? What if I wasn't ready for whatever opportunities lay ahead? And worst of all, what if Clara found out and used it as ammunition against me? Pushing those thoughts aside, I rose shakily to my feet and slipped the phone back into my pocket. The party continued around me, oblivious to the seismic shift that had just occurred within me. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for whatever came next. Because whether Clara liked it or not, this was my story, and I intended to write my own ending. Back at the center of the reunion, the festivities carried on as if nothing had changed. Laughter echoed through the air, mingling with the faint strains of music playing from a portable speaker. Plates clinked together as relatives passed dishes of homemade pie and slices of cake. Yet none of it reached me anymore. I felt untethered, adrift in a sea of possibilities both exhilarating and terrifying. Clara spotted me making my way back toward the main gathering area. Her brow furrowed slightly, perhaps sensing that something was different. She approached me cautiously, her earlier bravado replaced by curiosity. "What's with the dazed look?" she asked, tilting her head. "Did someone spike the punch bowl?" I hesitated, unsure whether to share the news or keep it to myself. Part of me wanted to shout it from the rooftops, to prove her wrong and silence the mocking voices once and for all. But another part, the cautious, guarded part, urged me to wait, to protect this fragile hope until it solidified into something real. "Nothing," I said lightly, forcing a grin. "Just zoning out for a bit." She studied me for a moment longer before shrugging dismissively. "Whatever. Don't get lost in La La Land for too long. Mom's about to cut the cake." With that, she turned and walked away, leaving me standing alone once more. As I watched her retreating figure, I realized something important. This wasn't about Clara. It never had been. This was about me finding my place in the world, carving out a space where I could thrive on my own terms. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Conversations swirled around me, but I participated only half-heartedly, my mind preoccupied with visions of what might come next. When the final slice of cake had been served and the last guest bid farewell, I climbed into my car and drove home in silence. The road stretched endlessly before me, mirroring the journey I was about to embark upon. Thursday arrived faster than I anticipated. Dressed in my best outfit, a navy blue blazer paired with tailored slacks, I stepped into the sleek glass building housing Harper Publishing. The lobby gleamed with polished marble floors and minimalist decor, exuding an air of sophistication that left me feeling woefully underprepared. Receptionists greeted clients with practiced smiles, their efficiency adding to the aura of professionalism. After checking in, I was ushered to a conference room overlooking the city skyline. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, bathing the space in natural light. Moments later, Daniel Harper entered, extending a hand in greeting. He was younger than I expected, mid-30s perhaps, with sharp features and an easygoing demeanor that immediately put me at ease. "Emily, it's great to meet you," he said warmly, taking a seat across from me. "Your manuscript truly impressed us. There's raw talent there, a unique voice we haven't encountered in quite some time." His words sent a thrill coursing through me. Validation from someone whose opinion mattered meant more than I could articulate. We spent the next hour discussing potential edits, marketing strategies, and timelines. Each detail brought clarity, transforming vague aspirations into tangible goals. By the time I left the office, contract signed and head spinning with possibilities, I felt reborn. This was the beginning of something extraordinary. But as I navigated the bustling streets outside, I couldn't shake the lingering question: how would Clara react when she learned the truth? Would jealousy taint her reaction, or would she genuinely celebrate my success? Complicating matters further was the fact that our relationship had always been fraught with tension. Growing up, Clara overshadowed me at every turn. Teachers praised her brilliance, coaches marveled at her athleticism. Even our parents unwittingly fueled the rivalry, often comparing us despite claiming otherwise. Over time, resentment festered, creating cracks in our bond that neither of us seemed willing or able to repair. Yet amidst the bitterness, there remained fragments of affection buried beneath layers of hurt. Memories of childhood adventures, whispered secrets late at night, and promises made under starlit skies lingered like ghosts. Perhaps, I mused, this unexpected opportunity could serve as a bridge rather than a wedge. If handled carefully, it might pave the way for reconciliation instead of conflict. Over the following days, I threw myself into revisions, pouring hours into refining characters and tightening plotlines. The creative process consumed me entirely, providing a welcome distraction from looming familial dynamics. Friends offered encouragement, marveling at my perseverance, while acquaintances expressed genuine interest in my progress. For the first time, I experienced a sense of belonging, not defined by external validation but rooted in self-belief. Meanwhile, preparations for publication moved swiftly. Cover designs circulated via email, editorial feedback poured in steadily, and promotional plans took shape. Excitement bubbled beneath the surface, threatening to spill over whenever I least expected it. Each milestone reinforced my determination, reminding me why I'd pursued this path despite countless obstacles. Still, shadows lingered at the edges of my newfound joy. Doubts whispered insidiously, questioning whether I deserved such fortune after years of mediocrity. Fear loomed large, warning of potential pitfalls ahead. Most troubling of all was the knowledge that sooner or later, Clara would discover my secret. And when she did, everything could change, for better or worse. Inevitably, the day came when secrecy became unsustainable. During a casual phone call with my mother, she casually mentioned running into Clara recently. Apparently, she'd mentioned attending a book launch event hosted by none other than Harper Publishing. Panic surged within me as realization dawned. Word must have spread among colleagues, reaching Clara indirectly. Faced with imminent exposure, I decided to confront the situation head-on. Inviting Clara to lunch under the guise of catching up, I braced myself for whatever reaction awaited. Meeting at a cozy cafe downtown, I greeted her nervously, noting the suspicion flickering in her gaze. "What's this about, Em?" she asked bluntly, sipping her latte. "You sounded weird on the phone." Taking a deep breath, I plunged forward. "Remember that manuscript I submitted ages ago? Well, Harper Publishing wants to publish it." Silence fell between us, heavy and charged. Clara stared at me, her expression unreadable. Then slowly, almost imperceptibly, a smile began to form. "To be honest," she admitted finally, leaning back in her chair, "I didn't think you had it in you." Her candor caught me off guard. Rather than lashing out defensively, she sounded proud? Confused, I searched her face for signs of sarcasm or hidden malice. Finding none, I dared to hope. "Well, thanks for the vote of confidence," I replied dryly, attempting levity. "No, seriously," she insisted, leaning forward earnestly. "This is huge. Like, legitimately impressive. Congratulations." For a fleeting moment, barriers crumbled. Years of animosity dissolved under the weight of shared understanding. Maybe, just maybe, we weren't doomed to perpetuate cycles of resentment indefinitely. Maybe forgiveness and acceptance were possible after all. Encouraged by Clara's unexpected support, I dove deeper into authorial duties. Interviews lined up, social media profiles transformed overnight, and public speaking engagements materialized seemingly out of thin air. With each appearance, nerves gave way to confidence, transforming initial apprehension into genuine enthusiasm. Readers responded positively, connecting with themes woven throughout the narrative. Their messages flooded inboxes daily, expressing gratitude for representation rarely seen elsewhere. Yet alongside triumphs emerged challenges unforeseen. Critics scrutinized every word, dissecting prose with surgical precision. Some reviews stung, highlighting flaws I hadn't considered. Others celebrated strengths previously overlooked. Balancing praise with critique proved difficult, requiring resilience honed over months of introspection. Throughout it all, Clara remained steadfastly supportive. Attending signings discreetly, purchasing copies anonymously, she championed efforts wholeheartedly. Occasionally, glimpses of old rivalry surfaced, jokes tinged with competitiveness, subtle jabs masked as banter, but underlying currents shifted noticeably. Respect replaced ridicule, admiration supplanted animosity. One evening, nestled comfortably on opposing ends of a couch, we reminisced openly. Childhood memories resurfaced, accompanied by laughter and tears alike. Apologies exchanged freely, acknowledging past hurts without assigning blame. Healing commenced gradually, piece by painstaking piece. "You know," Clara remarked thoughtfully, swirling wine in her glass, "maybe being twins isn't such a curse after all." Startled, I glanced sideways, meeting her gaze curiously. "What do you mean?" She shrugged nonchalantly, though sincerity shone brightly. "We push each other, challenge limits constantly. Without you, I wouldn't strive half as hard. And vice versa." A lump formed in my throat, rendering speech momentarily impossible. Gratitude welled deeply, overwhelming defenses erected long ago. Reaching across cushions, I clasped her hand firmly, squeezing gently. "Thanks, sis," I murmured hoarsely. "For everything." From that point forward, unity prevailed. Collaborative ventures blossomed organically, joint projects combining literary prowess with business acumen. Together, we forged paths previously unimaginable, proving strength lies not solely in individual achievement but collective endeavor. Life unfolded beautifully thereafter, shaped indelibly by lessons learned along tumultuous journeys. Success manifested multifaceted, encompassing professional accolades alongside personal growth. Bonds strengthened immeasurably, transcending labels assigned arbitrarily by society. In essence, redemption found us both, not through grand gestures or dramatic revelations, but quiet moments embracing vulnerability fully. And thus, amidst chaos and celebration alike, destiny wove intricate patterns binding hearts eternally.